New beginnings. What a great way to complete our seventh session of this Bible study, to talk about the new beginnings that God has been a part of and have been remembered throughout the biblical story. One of the amazing things about new beginnings is often the opportunity for a person to claim a new name or to be given a new name. We think about people like Abram and Sarai, who become Abraham and Sarah, and so many others, even in the New Testament, where Peter is referred to as the rock by Christ because of who he is and what's going to happen through his life and his commitment. The Vision team also began to think about a renaming of our annual conferences. What would be a suitable name? And we wrestled with geographical names that were, quite frankly, long and just would go on forever and ever. And we talked about the fear of what would happen if our name was not really one that pointed to a specific geography, but rather had some other symbolic or metaphorical meaning to it. And I guess we erred on the side of the second one. As we looked at the map of the new conference area, what we really discovered was that it very closely follows the watershed of the Susquehanna River. Susquehanna, the name, is not something new to any of us, frankly. As we live up and down the river on both branches and even up into the upper part of the state, we discover that the Susquehanna River has had a great impact upon our life. It has been both the source of life and sometimes even hard times and destruction, as it was in 1972 with the Agnes flood. And yet there is a connection, too, with the rivers of the Bible, where rivers are often seen as sources of life and energy, sources of newness and renewal, sources of baptism, for instance. As we began to think about this as a Vision team, it became clear that Susquehanna, the Susquehanna Conference as a possible name, was one that carried with those of us within the conference a powerful image of who we are and how we have been made and where we have come from. It also reminds us that we're never stagnant, but that we are always moving on and flowing in new directions with all kinds of new possibilities for us. The metaphor of the river reminds us that the path to where we're headed is not always a straight line. And indeed, sometimes rivers bring with them chaos. Doing new things in new ways often will expose us to chaos. But chaos, too, is part of the creative order of God. Now, we'll need to be patient as we move ahead. There are many things to care for, many decisions to be made. But at the very heart of all of that is a desire on the part of the Vision team to always put the vision before the structure. And so we will be living into this vision, step by step, learning as we go, being flexible and open to God's leading, having the opportunity to say, well, we could have done it a little bit better, maybe we'll try it this way, to not lock ourselves into any one place or way of thinking.